Hello, so the Premier League season is over for another season, and going through the last matchday results, week 38, there were so many things to play for. There was the Champions League, Europa League, and relegation places, with teams still fighting it out to decide on such important achievements, milestones, extra cash for the upcoming season, which will be in a couple of months there. But first, let's go for it. Let's see how the teams perform, see how me and Cavan Wright got on with our predictions, and see what it all means for the teams in question. So first up, it was a very big win for my team Chelsea. 2-0 winners against Wolves. Mason Mount and Olivier Giroud scoring the goals in stoppage time of the first half. Manchester United also got a favourable result for them. They won 2-0 against Leicester. Bruno Fernandes with a penalty kick, and Jesse Lingard with the last goal of the campaign for Manchester United and the Premier League as a whole in the 98th minute, after Johnny Evans got sent off 94 minutes in for Leicester. Southampton 3-1 winners against Sheffield United. Che Adams managed to get 2, and Danny Ings just missing out on the golden boot this season to Jamie Vardy by the 1 goal, 84th minute penalty kick though. John Lundstrom, 26th minute goal for Sheffield. Liverpool 3-1 against Newcastle, after Dwight Gale scored in the very first minute of the match. Virgil van Dijk, Divock Origi and Sadio Mane scored the goals for Liverpool as they finished on 99 points this season. Bournemouth 3-1 winners against Everton. Joshua King, Dominic Solinski and Junior Steiners for them. For Everton, Moise King on the score sheet. West Ham and Astonvilla was a 1-1 draw. Jack Grealish, 84th minute goal, and then Andrei Yarmolenko, 85th minute goal for West Ham. Brighton 2-1 winners against Burnley. Yves Bissouma and Alan Connolly scoring the goals, and for Burnley, Chris Woods managed to get on the score sheet. Arsenal 3-2 winners against Watford. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scoring 2 goals, just missing out on the golden boot by 1 goal as well too. And Kieran Tierney on the score sheet. For Watford, Troy Deeney and Danny Welbeck scoring the goals. Manchester City thumping Norwich 5-0. Gabriel Jesus had Kevin De Bruyne with 2, Raheem Sterling, and we had Mahrez. And Crystal Palace and Tottenham 1-1 draw. Jeffrey Schlupp for Palace and Harry Kane for Tottenham. So how I got all my predictions, I managed to get 3 correct out of 10. They include Chelsea winning, my team of course, Manchester City correct score 5-0 against Norwich, as well as Liverpool beating Newcastle. But for Cavan Wright, twice as good in both accounts, 6 out of 10 and 2 correct scores. He managed to get the Chelsea win correct, Southampton winning, Liverpool winning, West Ham and Villa drawing. Also managed to get Manchester City correct score 5-0 against Norwich as well too. Bournemouth winning against Everton. So lots of an impressive scores and predictions for Cavan Wright. So congratulations. And what does it mean for all the teams? So Liverpool champions, first time ever in the Premier League campaign. Manchester City coming in second, 102 goals, most by 17 out of the season. Manchester United in third spot, Champions League, managing to do so on the final day after defeating Leicester. My team Chelsea also managed to make the Champions League places with a 2-0 victory against Wolves. Leicester have to settle for Europa League after finishing 5th. The loss against Manchester United blew all of the advantage away that they had early on in the season, and they had a big 12-point gap inside the top 4, being third for the majority of it. Just a shame really. 6th place Tottenham, a point against Crystal Palace was enough to squeak the Europa League spot. over Wolves, who ended up losing to Chelsea, and now are reliant on Chelsea to win the FA Cup to give them a Europa League spot back again. 8th place Arsenal are into the FA Cup final against Chelsea for their European spot for next season. Sheffield United ended up finishing at 9th there. They fell short in the end after really challenging for even Champions League position at some point during their campaign, and then the Europa League, but just missing it the last couple of matches of the season, just not quite enough points there. But pretty great performance from a newly promoted team. And 10th spot Burnley with Chris Wood, the Kiwi from New Zealand, who managed to ban in 14 goals there this season. And then we'll talk about 17th to 20th now there. Not too much you could say about the other teams. But I might mention a few other things when I do my overview of how I got off my Premier League predictions from the pre-season campaign to where they actually finished up on the table, and a video coming up in the near future. So in 17th there, Astonvilla surviving after drawing against West Ham was enough to keep them up. It was a great curling shots from Jack Grealish before an incredible freak deflection a minute later managed to equalise the game, and some very nervy moments towards the ends, as if they lost then it would have been Bournemouth that would have stayed up instead, because 18th place Bournemouth, they did defeat Everton, but they were reliant on both Watford's and Astonvilla to lose their matches as well too, and that didn't quite come about. And 19th spot Watford's 3-0 down against Arsenal to a 3-2 defeat. I was trying to pull off a miracle turnaround just to try and keep them alive in the Premier League for another season, but was unable to do so. And sacking their third manager during the campaign really was not a great decision, especially with 2 matches left to go. They should have trusted Nigel Pearson to keep them up, because that would have been their best hope, because it was really difficult matches regardless, instead of trying to somehow start something at a lower level where you haven't been able to build the team up and get everyone going and stuff. So they were that opportunity, and now they have to pay in the Championship next season. And last spot, Norwich City. They were doomed in the end, 14 points short. They ended up losing their last 10 matches in a row, so that could have big damaging effects in the Championship campaign for next season. But they're a traditional yo-yo club, so they come to the Premier League quite frequently, but then the other half of the time, of course, they are in the 2nd division. So shouldn't be too long before we see them again, but hopefully when they do come back, for their sake, they want to actually stay here for a few seasons, ideally. But that's what's happened in the Premier League campaign, well, the last match day, and a little bit of an overview, but I'll make sure in short time I'll review how I got on with my pre-season predictions, see some of the amazing picks that I managed to do, and for the most part, some of the awful ones I got horribly wrong. So if you want to see that, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and comment below on your thoughts of how your team's got on for the season. Cheers.